historical heritage spanning more than 80 years. Residents living peacefully for a very long time and some for generations are anxious for their safe haven over the past couple of years due to potential developments around the area which the aging infrastructure cannot withstand. I believe there is a 15-story, 24 units government quarters built by SPCT already on the land. Adjacent house owners were not given accurate details on the above before it was built. 2013 town hall meeting with Dato Fiza, the then Dato Banda, ex-directors of DBKL and the residents. It was confirmed that the lane for houses 25, 27, 29 and 31 Jalan Abdullah will remain closed as a cul-de-sac. April 2019, by chance, owners of the said houses found out that Setia was planning to cut through their lane to tap into utilities such as TNB, Shabazz, Inda Water and Telecoms of the Jalan Abdullah area. Over several months, clandestine attempts were made by the developer. Residents remained vigilant and continuously protested. With the intervention and assistance of MP of Lembah Pantai and Safe Kuala Lumpur, it has been agreed that all utilities will be to the frontage of Jalan Bangsa to Jalan Rayat, that is Jalan Travers, that is within Sitia's area and away from Jalan Abdullah. Sitia Federal Hill, a potential gigantic development adjacent to Jalan Abdullah area. Among the proposed monstrous development was a 1-acre 3-story power station, PMU, planned adjacent to the houses. The residents firmly opposed, and again with the intervention and assistance of the MP and SKL, it has been agreed that the PMU will be placed at the front of Jalan Bangsa and Jalan Rayat. In place of that, Sitia's management approached the residents with an alternative of 40-story apartment to be constructed at the residents' doorstep. Merciless developers bullying helpless residents. Before Sitia started any work, we were promised that a concrete wall would be constructed, serving as a distinctive separation to preserve the exclusiveness of both areas and to prevent intrusion either way. The promised boundary retention wall should be built without any further delay. Recently, the residents found out that on the other side of the built government quarters, there have been several mudslides causing severe damage and emergency slope maintenance and is being carried out, causing anxiety to the surrounding area, the community as well. Before the construction of the government quarters, we were not aware of any such exercise having been carried out on our side of the hill, although since 2015 reports have been lodged with DBKL about erosion and mudflow from the Green Reserve. The situation worsened due to the felling and uprooting of fully matured trees and subsequent construction works. Also, Jabatan Mineral and Geoscience Glenmore Williamson has ascertained that there is a natural waterway in the area. Therefore, we would like to request the local authority to investigate the stability of the hill and to order Setia to do the needful in the event there is any such requirement to protect the safety of the community living around the area and their property. A conclusion can be made that the whole area is unable to withstand major construction work, looking at the few disasters due to minor construction work carried out, such as a couple of years ago, the owner of Lot 45 tenanted the area for car parking facilities. Within months of its starting, the retention wall of the neighbor number 5 Jalan Abdullah collapsed. A high-rise condominium, Sri Bangsa number 10 Lengkok Abdullah construction at Lengkok Abdullah some time ago did cause structural damages to the neighbouring bungalow, which ultimately had to be demolished and is a car park now. During construction work at number 4 Lengkok Abdullah, the tractor sank into the soil and the neighbour's retention wall number 24 Jalan Abdullah collapsed due to the soft ground. 32-story, 179 unit service apartment containing 8 stories of car park and with 283 parking lots. On lots 44, 45 and 46, originally 3 bungalows, November 2019, application submitted to the DBKL to construct the above. Adjacent houses are more than 70 years old and do not have concrete room beams, which will not be able to withstand the heavy piling works during construction. By chance, residents found out about this proposed construction. Upon inquiring, authorities informed that under the new zoning, it bypasses the requirement to install a signboard to inform the neighbouring owners of the potential development. This has caused anxiety among the long-standing residents, as now they fear that there may be gigantic developments in the area approved without their knowledge. Traffic congestion. Crippling traffic congestion along Jalan Abdullah as a narrow road was built to cater for the original low-density residential area, which would not be able to cater to commercial activities or increase in density caused by high-rise buildings. The new traffic generated in the surrounding areas by the high-rise developments in Bangsa, Utama, that is, for example, the UAE building, Atika, Gaya Bangsa, and Residency 38 Bangsa, in addition to the steep increase in the number of entries in Jalan Kemuja, makes movement in the area unbearable and so as to not aggravate the situation further. No intrusion should be allowed into Jalan Abdullah area for traffic dispersal from the potential redevelopment of Bukit Bangsa, that is Sri Pahang and the KTMB properties. City Plan 2020. In 2010, the residents by chance found out that in the KL City Plan 2020, the area would be rezoned from residential to major commercial. The residents were not informed, not consulted, and unanimously opposed such a change. On 9th August 2012, a letter was written to then Mayor Dr. Haji Ahmad Fizal bin Haji Talib, who is cancelled now, requesting the area remain a residential area within an established housing zone. Residents who met the mayor at his office pleaded to maintain residential status of the area. The mayor brought his team, which included Dato' Haji Mahadi, Tuan Haji Nur Azizi, who is the present executive director of Rancangan, Dato' Zul, and officers of DBKL, mostly from planning department, to view the area and to meet the residents. The residents reiterated the stand that the zone remains status quo. Early last year, residents found out that in the KL City Plan 2020, the area has been gazetted major commercial and were very disappointed. No concrete response from DBKL as to why the feedback by the residents were not heeded. Further, when residents complained about the nuisance caused by the present variety of commercial activities, they were referred to the subsidiary registration for the information as to the potential development that may be approved according to the present zoning. Definitely, the infrastructure of the area would not be able to withstand such activities. That means it's all backdoor entry, as we always do in Malaysia. Commercial activities within the Jalan Abdullah area, numerous restaurants causing various hardship such as hygiene issues, example cleanliness, odors, and increase in rodents, in addition to excessive noise. The eateries also block certain parts of the public area to book parking area for their customers. Safety during hazards is questionable. During a recent fire, the staff at one food outlet went hysterical, which further panicked the adjacent residents that there was additional storage of various combustible items such as gas cylinders and cooking oil. Menace to the illegal haphazard parking, which constricts the free flow of two-way traffic, many a time only accommodating one-way traffic. We have resubmitted November 2019 to the FT Minister and the Mayor to reinstate our residential area into an established housing zone. We believe that Banda supports a well-planned city which is in harmony with the environment. Preserving the Abdullah area as a traditional settlement, the IQU complex in Bukit Pusatpan is a heritage historical site stretching from the Jalan Abdullah area right through Taman Tasik Perdana, Taman Botani, Taman Tugu up to Bank Negara as a green lung. Will only be a pride for the city of Kuala Lumpur, but also a commendable achievement for City Hall, the Mayor and the Minister, FT Minister, and the nation. Because in KL, as you all are aware, the central part has no greenery, nothing. If you go and, I would use the word, if you rape the greenery right from Federal Hill, and you will still encroach into Taman Tasik Perdana, on to Botani, Taman Tugu, and right up to Gangagara. This is the only green left in this part of KL. Therefore, it's very important it should be preserved because this is one of the memorandum SKL has submitted to the Prime Minister as well on the 7th of February. So with that, I will now sum up to say that the residents of this area, we are told, are very concerned and they would like to protect the area, would like to be retained and preserved as a green, historical, and in fact, the government should work towards protecting it as a heritage area. Now the floor is open. I will pass on to my friends from the locality. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And meanwhile, I will share they have prepared the release. We will share with you. So we've got the press release prepared by the community. So the floor is open, and we may clarify and understand the situation better. Anybody has, you can take a few minutes to go run through anything you want to clarify. Can we share with you later, because in case the press needs, we'll ask her to put it in your group.
Rather than go through this, can you just sum up and say what's happening, where, how much, density and stuff? I just need to understand.
Okay. Thank you very much, Bhavani, for raising the.
We all are reading in our own capacity.
Okay, so sure, certainly. Okay, in terms of the IKN complex, from what we have seen earlier, which has not been officially released, but reliably we have had some access to it, the planned structures, there are about 18 blocks, 15 to 18 blocks of concrete towers, ranging from 30-story high to 85. Am I correct, Naratan? 30 to 85 in height. So that was what really shook us in the earlier stage, when the plan was going to be gazetted and we heard about this. That was way back just after GE14. So when the FT minister was appointed, we had raised this issue with him, with the dialogue, and told him there are a lot of flaws in the plan, the KLCP. Therefore, please review the whole thing first, because that's not the plan that went through the stakeholders' engagement. So coming back to Federal Hill, our questions raised was they had not engaged first with the communities of even Federal Hill, neither the adjacent communities. Number two, no reports have been made known to the public, the TIA, the SIA, the EIA, how they are going to manage the traffic, how are they going to manage the movement of people. So then we had one engagement at the City Hall subsequently, whereby they were talking about overhead people movers from the new development into KL Central. But our question is, without prior engagement, how do you plan things? So when you talk about density, so if I tell you that there's going to be 15 to 18 blocks of towers ranging, so you can imagine what plot ratio we're talking about, what density we are talking about. Human population. Then what about the traffic? And all of you know how good Jalan Bangsa, Jalan Traverse are. So, I mean, just visualize. I mean, Dato, you have been there, part and parcel of the government. Dato Jaya is a very senior personnel, and you have sat opposite this plot of land, I think, before you retired, after KL Central was open. So just visualize. I mean, I can't imagine, because I was working in Jalan Ampang, so I used to pass through Jalan Bangsa drivers every day. So if these developments come in, how are they going to manage the traffic management? So why have they not opened up? When this present government was sitting on the opposite side as the then opposition, they were screaming. But today we asked them to engage. They did not come forward. And we requested the YB Kali Samad to open up the plan for us to review. Of course, time factor, money was the concern. Then we said at least let a group of people from SKL and other interested parties to view and then raise the question to the DBKL officers and let the ministry people take a decision himself. That too did not materialize. But finally we are told the plan will be signed, and it was signed. So that's give you a nutshell, Bhavani, just a historical brief of the concerns we are raising. But the crux of the issue now is the fragile historical traditional homes where these friends of ours are sitting here. They are concerned whether they'll be able to move out of their homes in and out, number one. Number two, in terms of emergencies, in terms of the infrastructure. Can the infrastructure take with all these massive developments coming in the vicinity? So, I suppose that gives you a gist of where we are heading to and our concerns.
What's the area's current population and what's the expected population once these developments get off the ground?
Okay, so we don't have the information. All we do know based on the early information is that the development in IKUM will be about 18 million square feet. 1 million square feet. Okay. It's identified as a mixed development, which basically means both offices and residential. Because it's a mixed development, there's actually no explicit limit to the population density. It depends on however many apartments they can squeeze into that.
Sorry, I'm afraid I don't know anything about this development. Can you give us how big is the land size?
Approximately 50 acres.
50
Yeah,
acres.
I don't have the details here.
What?
Is it 50?
50 acres.
52 acres.
52 acres.
Okay, when you say it's 52 acres, what is the division of that 52 acres like? The division meaning, how much is it offices and how much is it residential? Because I only say 15, 18 story block. So
15 towers.
Okay, so
15 to 18 towers, and the tallest being 80 stories. 80 plus stories. It's a mixed development area. So in the mixed development, they do not separate between residential and commercial.
Yeah, do you have a map?
No.
So that we can visualize?
Yeah, we are not able to release it at this point in time. But they have not officially released it yet.
There were some drawings in the
But they have not released officially.
I need to check. Is there any your black family control map?
No. Because this again to review under the new plan. Because this initiated, officially they are not released to the public as such. So we can't.
Is it this one? It's the one that was on the DKL.
That you said the 18 million square feet.
The area.
We are talking about 18 million square feet of built space. Okay, so we say 18 million square feet of built space. What is the division like between?
That is really up to the developer. We don't know.
You are not told about it.
You wouldn't know.
The authorities have not released the information. Basically, there is nothing to be released officially to us. It is only from what we have learned and what we understood. So we have raised the question, why don't you open up and tell us what exactly your plans are, how the structure is going to be, where the buildings are exactly going to be located, and how you are going to manage the traffic.
Just now you mentioned a couple of times. You said that clandestine
by chance. Can you specify, as to how by chance residents found out about this?
When we went to DBKL for other issues, we were given information that there is potential development in the area, so we had to wait until everything is formalized.
So obviously there was no DO, there was nothing yet. So you're just taking precaution now. You're being on the alert, huh?
Yeah. It's just a pre-alert. It's just that we are taking a pre-alert precautionary measure.
The Setia development has DO, right?
Say again?
The Setia development hasn't got DO.
No.
Not yet. Not that we are. In fact, the Rathabanda came on the 13th of December, is it? 15th of January. No. The one outside
The year before,
The year before.
2018.
Yeah.
I mean, you said that you went to the residents went to DPKL and someone told you there was a potential development. When was this?
This is immediately after the elections. That's how we became aware of the scenario.
Okay, and as for the DO, just now you mentioned that all government quarters have been built.
Yep.
You mean they are already built?
That is already constructed. It's already completed.
How many government quarters?
24.
15 stories.
15
stories. 24 units.
24 units comprising of 15 stories.
15 story. That means just one block.
One block.
You said government quarters.
Not 50, not 50.
1-5. 1-5.
25. You lift up the cover.
1-5.
24 units.
That's the picture.
Do you have this? There's I mean all this information is actually available
It's all
on.
available.
Yeah, it's all
It's
reported
available.
before. I think we should just
It's
fast
been
forward
reported.
to
Yes.
the matter in Jalan Abdullah because this is why we're here today.
Yeah.
So what SP Setia said, have you voiced your concerns with them?
No, we are even engaged with them in the sense of pressurizing DBKL. DBKL called them. We wanted to engage with DBKL. DBKL had invited them and they were there. So we told them our concerns. One,
When was this?
do you remember the date?
July. It's July. The exact
2019. So
Yeah.
DBKL, SP Setia, and yourselves. Okay. At DBKL
The mayor, executive directors, Dato Wong of Setia, the residents, MP, Kwame Fazil.
Okay. Okay, and then?
So we had requested them at that stage a couple of things. One is don't intrude into the Abdullah area. If they want to put any of the infrastructure, they planned to bring in all the infrastructure, such as indoor water pipeline, telecoms line, electricity TNB line, one more is water, Shabas.
TNB, Shabas, and UK Telecom.
All the 4 services to be brought in through the area. So we said it's not fair because that area itself is not very stable with these facilities. So why do you have to disturb them? Leave them alone and bring them through the front. That is where the Brickfield Junction is, the traffic lights, Jalan Bangsa, Jalan Traverse Junction. Bring all these services from the front. And that engagement, we had more than 2 engagements, I think 2 or 3 engagements, with the service providers also included. And there we emphasize it is easier for you all to bring the infrastructure from the front. And because their services, the main lines will be running through the front because that's a bigger area, so through the front. And some of the service providers confirmed that they would prefer to have it there. But from time to time, we have been again sort of, what should I say, pricked, saying that no, we have to look at this area only through Jalan Abdullah area. So we have been resisting. The community, with the help of SKL, has been resisting to say that no, you must go to the front. Then at one point in time, Setia people sounded, okay, if you want in the front, okay, we will construct a 4-story height substation closer to one of the houses, of the row of houses.
That was in the original
plan. So we said that's not fair. Why you have the frontage right in front, you build everything, and that too also, either by slip or by fact, they released information saying that this we reliably learned again from TNB. This substation was planned not only for Setia development, but to support and back up the eco-city development which is away from here, near Mid Valley, Abdullah Hukum area. So probably they squeezed the land there and they didn't want to maximize the development there, and then try to pinch on the land here and take the power supply from here to there for the backup. So is that fair? So we said push it to the front, don't come near the homes, the traditional homes which are there. Because at the end of the day, if there's a power station, it's going to affect definitely your health, your interference with your systems and whatnot. So that's the emphasis the community has been focusing.
Have they already started on the power station?
Not yet.
But they already
They
said that
came
they are
and
going
said
to
then
put
they
it
now
back.
go back. So now we don't know what to say. They've not come back and
Since
committed.
that time,
Yeah,
from that year
from
until
since
now,
then,
they
since
still
then,
haven't-
you have been following the story
They
quite
still
well.
haven't decided.
Not yet.
Okay.
They have
Now,
not
that,
officially.
now they've thrown another bombshell. You can accept the PMU. If not the PMU, it's a 40-story building.
40-story height.
At your doorstep.
At your doorstep. So if they shift
Oh,
the
they are
PMU
giving
to
you
the
an
front,
ultimatum
They
now.
gave
the
us-
substation to the front, then they say,
The
where's the
main-
plan,
main people
original
from
plan,
city
they
are
will build a
The
40-story height
40-story
building.
is the
So which one would you
that
prefer?
they are saying that's
It's a ransom.
No,
Good
suddenly
as-
it's 40 stories, Jemma.
last
City,
time,
yeah.
last time
City,
on the
yeah.
main, the big map, right?
Senior
Is
personnel.
that the 40-story?
They didn't say
And
which
this is
one,
the PNB
but this is the alternative they
Because
company
there was
today,
one,
yeah?
I remember seeing that
It's a
it's
GLC company.
Reservoir Width or
70%
something,
owned by
right?
the REI.
It's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
other side
Yeah,
of the
that's
right.
GLC.
GLC.
So this is
PNB. So
unknown.
PNB should
Yeah.
come proactive
Yeah.
to the Rakyat.
Yep.
Why are they sort of intimidating the Rakyat?
Wait, sorry, can you repeat that?
No, what they told, when we insisted on the PMU, the power station going to the front, at one informal discussion, they said, okay, you either have a PMU there, which is a 3 or 4-story building height,
1 acre.
One
size.
acre.
1
1
acre.
acre,
1 acre size.
which is very close to the residential homes. Alternatively, we shift that to the front.
Okay.
Then we'll put up a 40-story height building. So,
But I mean what PNB?
No, 40-story
Okay.
residential building.
okay, then coming to PNB, this Satya is now
70%.
a stable
Ah.
of PNB.
Okay.
It's a
70%.
GLC company.
Yeah, so you should
70.
talk to PNB then.
We have been talking to the minister, we've been talking to the DBKL.
It's not so easy.
So Setia is 70% owned by PNB now.
Has been for a long time. I mean,
Oh, okay.
just go and read up. The 40 stories, when did you all find out about it?
Last year, like a part of last year.
Roughly
I
when?
know, I think November.
November. When you were discussing about the power station.
They came over to discuss a few matters, and that was when they sprung it.
Who are they?
And
Satya.
Satya, SB Satya. Okay.
Security.
Because when I call them, they no reply.
So far, the plan and construction hasn't started yet.
According to DBKL, they have not given any DO yet. And YB Khalid Samad said he will speak to the developers and scale it down. So, scaling down, you and I will know what scaling down means in real terms. 80 story becomes 79 story. You know, that's what scaling down is. I mean, so we are saying first give us the reports, justify, how you're going to manage these things. The new government said we are open, transparent, sharing information, freedom of information. So, especially if it's a PNB company, shouldn't it take a greater responsibility to inform? You want a well-informed society, isn't it? Malaysians must be very well informed. So they must
be informed.
Say again?
They don't want to be informed. They don't want to
Oh, they don't want. Oh, I see. Okay. Thank you very much. I thought that was they told us. Thank you for letting us.
I think that these potential developments are squarely under the regime of Pakatan Harapan. Like the house, the condominium in Taman Desa collapsing, whatever. So we say, blame it. When these papers, Teresa said, it was the previous BN government which approved, and then she was protesting about that whole development there when she was in the opposition. But these potential developments, whatever things have transpired, is in the past. Moving forward, how shall we make Kuala Lumpur a better place, a more livable city? I think that is the crux of the matter. So and then this one is like the approving authorities are squarely under PH now.
In our appeal to the minister and the authorities, we also requested whatever has been built, whatever DOs have been issued, whatever have been built, we are not asking them to tear them down. But what we appealed to them was put a moratorium until your plans are sorted out, and whatever DOs have not been issued, put a freeze. Don't go and keep on extending the DOs, because DOs have got a specific period of validity. So stop extending if the developers have not started the projects. Review the thing in totality, holistically. Then go back.
And for the new projects, right, those in our vicinity, all the more it's time to get in the right just input. Because we are the ones who are going to be affected.
I think you need to establish first of all whether they have answered it.
No,
The fact that
they have not got the. Madam, may I just point out to you? We are 100% sure they have not issued the DO yet, because that's what we were told. That's why the Dato Banda visited the site. If they issue the DO, then again it's incorrect, because at that visit they told us they're not given the DO. They will review the thing. Then they should engage with us if they're going to release the DO. Engage with the community. When I say us, the community in the vicinity, before they finalize the DO.
The other thing you need to establish is the master plan. What is the master plan for 50 acres? What are
The plan itself a question mark. Selamatkan Kuala Lumpur has taken a stand. The 2020 city plan is not the right plan. We have referred the terminology in inverted commas, mutilated, butchered plan. And for the benefit of the media and yourself, I'm sure you must be aware, a group of KL Rayats have already filed a judicial review on the city plan. So when that is pending in the court, how do we move forward? So that plan is not accepted because that's not the right plan. We all have gone through from 2008 to 2009. The plan which the YB ministers signed was a different plan.
Because I'm not really familiar about this issue, but just not saying that the potential development involve 52 acres of land, right? So like how many residential houses that get affected if the development is started?
To respond to that with due respect, I wouldn't respond it that way. I would look at the whole vicinity holistically, because I cannot count the number of houses. It makes no sense to me, because you and I, we are moving around that area. You and I, we live there. We all are going to be impacted by the developments. See, we cannot see in isolation. If tomorrow, if a huge massive development is coming in Jalan Bangsa, you and I who stay here, we one day or other will also be impacted. So we want them to look at it holistically. It's just like when they talked about the elevated highway here. We asked the consultant, have you looked at the dispersal in a holistic manner? He said, no, my scope of work is here. My consultancy is here. I only look at this. So we threw the question back to DBKL. How do you handle this? I mean, you're talking only dispersal flying over from PJ and this area coming down from this way, south, north to south, crossover. But what about the whole surrounding area? In fact, you should look at it right up to Mid Valley and Federal Highway and Brickfields. You must look at it in totality. You cannot look at it in isolation. We are no longer living in a cocoon environment.
Can I say something, sir?
Sure. Say.
Dato, thank you very much. You made a very positive presentation. And I hope all of you have listened very carefully. My name is Jagadish. I happen to be living in that area since I was 8 years old. Before then my father passed away, I moved there and I lived in the area since 8 years old, and now I'm 75. So at the time there was no road there, there was just a gravel road going upstairs, going up the road, and slowly the area is developed. Houses came in, facilities were set up, and now everything was going very smoothly. Residents were very happy, and we were happy with the government. Now this new development where the private sector has taken over control of what should be done, rather than letting the government and the residents realize what is best for us. Now they're saying what is best for the private sector, the multi-millionaire companies. I was ex-MIDA, I was Deputy Director General of MIDA. So I'm very familiar working with the massive international companies. everyone looks for their own interest. We must now see what we can do for the interest of the community. Dato here mentioned about the area, instability of the area. The recent collapse of the building, what the building is? Samadesa building is like a real warning, because
Cannery. Cannery in the mine.
yeah, right. So now, that's a good one, cannery in the mine. So it's an eye opener for even City Hall and all these guys. Okay, don't just rush through things, and without caring for anything. Now, exactly on Bangsa, I'm number 24 on the main Jalan Abdullah. And behind me, there's another house. Okay. Now, that house person sold that particular property to, I think, Swisscap. And then what happened was, here comes the incredible issue here. Swisscap then was given the right to those flats at the back, the railway flats. Okay, they given the right for that one. So in exchange for that, they agreed to build a nice building, UMNO headquarters building, in the house, in the area behind my property, 24. Okay, fair enough. You build something there. I mean, who's going to argue about that? What they didn't realize was, and whoever stupid guys didn't do anything, was to check the areas whether it is suitable for such building. So they started building. Tractors came in. One day I went and saw that the tractor had come and sunk into the ground. It was so soft, the tractor had sunk into the land. So they had to bring a huge crane to come and take the tractor out. Okay, then I had to go overseas. Few days later, I get a call from my people there. They go, the wall between my house and the property they were developing collapsed. Now, luckily the collapse didn't move too far, because then the whole house would have collapsed. Okay, it collapsed, and they didn't know, shall we report the police? They asked me. I said, hey, hold on, don't do any harsh things like that. No point. I'm sure they didn't do it deliberately to collapse for a wall. But we also must take the other person's point of view. I always appreciate that. Let me balance. Let me come and talk to them. So I came back. And I asked the two gentlemen who were the architects or the engineers of the area who were developing that. I think they belong to this company, Swisscap. So I invited them to come to my house. So they had, who's this man? It's Datoja. Datoja, can put his house on. He's a gentle fella. Don't worry, he's very gentle. Okay. So I told him, have a cup of coffee. Hey guys, listen. I know you all didn't deliberately crash my wall. Okay. I know it was an accident. You all didn't plan it or didn't plan it, but I'm not going to report the police or nothing. You just repair what you have damaged. Repair what you have damaged, and we'll let it lie there. No point making a big issue out of it. But understand this, I said, the area there is very soft.
Just to add to your comment, there is also a report here.
This is from Jabatan Mineral and Science.
So where it shows about the underground water.
So that particular area now is very soft and already just about 4 doors away from the high rise, brother. How many doors away from the building? Multi-story building?
You are. Myself. Yourself.
So, do you want to take a picture of this? This shows
the 32 stories.
There is a limited number of copies.
Okay, here we are. Where the house collapsed is three doors away from the 32 stories building the collapsing. Imagine now what can happen. Let us not have another disaster like we had, in this.
Antara Bangsa Highland Tower. So the question is,
another one,
Highland Tower is a place. Now you got Taman Desa, and there are many others who have gone unreported. So our concern is again underground movement.
And this underground movement, there are residents who have stayed there for a long time, who actually says that there's a stream. There was a stream on top, and Annette actually knows the exact spot it comes out. So there's some natural waterway. This one is actually from Jabatan Mineral and Geoscience.
So there's already a very, very visible signs already of the instability of the area, or instability of the area. So now you go and put this huge building there, definitely the ratios are going to change, okay? And the next collapse comes, all of us will be responsible because we know the issue. We were there, we listened to the story, we reported to the government. Who else should we report in the government? Short of going to the Prime Minister. Okay. And I can't imagine in a small area like Bansai go to the Prime Minister, he's got bigger things to worry about. Okay.
That's why we told him. Despite the fact that we told him that he has got national, international, global issues at hand, but our little issues had to be taken note of, and we have passed him a memorandum already on the 7th of.
STL has actually brought our Jalan Abdullah
We have taken
attention about a fortnight.
Okay, I'm meeting him shortly. Okay, in fact.
We have already taken up the issue and given to him.
The school slopes in unstable.
Yeah. So as everybody has mentioned, we are worried about the stability, and in the other document we have got pictures of slope maintenance being done on the other side of the government quarters. It's being done by Setia Federal Hill, and even as of last week, there's some emergency slope maintenance work going on. When we checked with Setia, they said something else had crashed. Earlier, the gates of the school had crashed, and it's actually massive when you go there and have a look, or you see from the photograph. It's massive amount of, it's quite deep. The degree of maintenance work is quite large. So this has caused anxiety on our side because, as has already been mentioned, our infrastructure, our soft soil, and overall we are just concerned about the stability of the area.
We are concerned of the safety aspect, we are concerned of the environmental aspect. All we are requesting the authorities to share all these in advance before they. We are per se we are not against development. Please, let's be very clear on the issue. But it must be sensible development. We don't want to play around slogans, sustainable and whatnot. There must be sensible, but there must be prior engagement with the communities.
So can I say that since you all know about these projects after the GE, so you all keep following up and requesting the details from the authorities, but still now they didn't give any answers.
Nothing concrete is forthcoming.
So like around nearly 2 years or
yes, since they took over the office, we started before.
okay.
We started before and we have continued.
Doctor, let me make this simple. Under current legislation, DBKL is not required to disclose information to us. Right? Yes. And if you look at the recent case, and I'll just read it from one of the press articles, the bench comprising Datuk Abdul Rahman Sabri, Datuk Mary Lim, and Datuk Hasna Muhammad Hashim overturned Kuala Lumpur High Court decision stating that the rules of natural justice apply and entitle applicants to obtain the said documents to present their objection. Now, DBKL is challenging that decision.
Oh.
Okay, so this is in the Titi Wansa case. All right, so you have a situation here, and I have lived in many countries across the world, and I have not come across a so-called developed country which operates in project development under secrecy laws. You're not required to actually tell the community what is happening. You're not required to provide any information to them. The kind of information that is obtained is not official release documents. A number of people have been. Suresh was there. He asked to take a photograph of the development on the 32-story development. He was not allowed. Right? So we don't know. We have no idea about the soil reports. We have no idea about the traffic reports. We have no idea about many things that are happening in this environment. We speak, our family, first occupied the area in 1939. That is my grandfather, Ratna Sodhi's father, my aunt's father. And we have lived there continuously now for 3 generations. 11 Jalan Abdullah, our principal residence, is right next to this proposed 32-story building. I mean, can you imagine on a 1-acre plot, a 32-story building? To give you a comparison, almost the size of the Alila building and 3/4 the size of the UOA building. Right next to what I consider as micro-residential area. We are a micro-residential area with historic homes, old homes, classic homes. You're building this massive infrastructure on a street 20 feet wide, which already is congested with illegal parking and so on. Right? So we have structural issues. Primary issue is the secrecy in which the institutions operate in this country. Right? There is no need for secrecy. You have to have an open system. There has to be consultation. There has to be consideration of the culture of the country. This, when I look at the occupancy of this area, it is highly multicultural. We have all races there. It's an enjoyable place to live in. I lived there in my early years and I still live there. Auntie and my cousins have lived there all their lives. My mother has lived there. Right? It is a tragedy to see the destruction of what I call the soul of the city in these micro-residential areas. Right? So you have legal issues, you have community issues, you have structural issues, you have a whole range of issues that come together in what is essentially misgovernance. That's my idea.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You live on.
That particular comment you made, it reminds me of the recent what's happening in China, where the government kept the whole convoy for this virus thing secret, not requiring it to
We won't go into that.
Now it looks like they're repeating the same thing here again.
Of course.
I mean, and just in passing, in other countries, you can go online and get every document with regards to every development. We want to be a developed country.
Can I just say something?
Where are we?
Please allow me Sean. Mr. Kumar, you're right. I just want to build on what you said and to bring you back to why we're actually having this session as well. Because earlier on, we talked about, Dr. Ali mentioned about how the PMU has been planned next to these houses on 31 and 29. And in return, the senior management in Setia said, fine, want us to move it, we'll move it. And we'll move it to the front. But bear in mind, we're going to be putting up a 40-story building. Now, with this 32-story development Mr. Kumar talked about just now, if it gets its approval, that will be a green light for Setia to say, yes, there's precedence. Why don't we put this 40-story, maybe make it 50? And there goes the snowball. Everything will start snowballing. So that's the key risk all of us face. And with it comes those issues that we talked about, traffic impact assessment, the dispersal of the traffic. How are you going to bring the people there? And today's situation, everybody talks about infectious diseases. Next time, we have such an urban area, so huge density. If something like this happens, how are we going to cope? Do the city planners think of these things? Or does a crisis have to hit? Then we say, no, we don't want that. We have to be able to pre-plan. But now we're seeing the storm on the horizon. This is the time for us to actually put the things on the table, and transparency, as Mr. Kumar said, transparency is lucky. We need the transparency. We thought with the change of government we have the transparency, but shockingly, we don't. So everything is interrelated. All of us are affected, regardless of race, the community as a whole. We are a threat by private entities.
Can I interject there? In the change of government, actually Rule 5, or Regulation 5, required community consultation. But now it does not require. That is no longer required. Right? So we cannot keep blaming the previous government. Everybody is accountable, whether it was the previous government or the current government, because we have less transparency.
The 32-story building, when was the...
It was put in November.
November 2000
last year.
2019.
It was also by chance, because what happened was that Auntie Lingam called to say that the car wash, they heard from somebody that the car wash, there's an illegal car wash running there. So they was told to leave, it's a car park and a car wash. They were told to vacate by April. So that was one we got a bit suspicious, and then upon investigating, we found out all the details. We were not officially informed. We found out the details, and then we were put in November.
They have already gotten their development order.
No.
Okay. Just proposed.
That's one of the reasons we have emphasized to reinstate Rule 5, because not everybody looks at the city plans. Even if the plan is approved, even if it's a beautiful plan, not everybody throughout the city will get an opportunity to look at it, give their feedback, give their comments. So, whereas Room 5, the moment a notice board comes up, a signboard comes up in your vicinity, if I'm immediate neighbor, if I'm not conscious, I will be aware, so I can act or react. So that's why we want Room 5 to be reinstated. So friends, thank you very much. We wish to thank you for sparing your early morning to be with us. We hope you will sort of express the concerns of our friends from the communities of this locality and to reach the message to the appropriate persons. Hope the PM himself will sort of open his eyes, or his officers will bring his attention, because we have emphasized the PM that this should be preserved as a historical site right from here all the way to Bangagara Greenery, as a green lung, as a historical, as a heritage site.
Actually, I want to make an amusing comment, but it's actually real. With the destruction of the green lung areas in the Setia development, for the first time in my lifetime, monkeys are walking down Lorong Abdullah. Right?
Yeah,
So their habitat also is being destroyed.
So may I share with you, it's not only in your area, they come into Bukit Bandaraya, Bangsa, Taman Bangsa. It's very simple. You come and disturb my habitat, my natural environment. What will I do? I have to go somewhere. I have to move around somewhere. You take me there, you catch me and take me and live there. And there are my friends, our friends in our area, trapping musang and taking it out.
Yeah, I'm having a problem with musang running around my house.
This is something which is, you disturb my habitat, my right. I will try to go wherever I want. Okay? Thank you very much. Except for a few from the SKL. There were 4 or 5 of us, the rest are all from the community. They are all directly from there. That's why I see you hear it from the horse's mouth.
Can I just get, thank you.
Thank you very much.